I was gonna ask, who do you think, if a documentary was made of, will be the most damning? If, like, out of people you know, if they were to make a documentary.
Sidney Poitier.
Oh, whoa. What is the Academy Award winner?
Yes.
What?
Because that he did for them.
Oh.
Just so he could have his career.
Okay. You want to meet who you're supposed to meet here? I said, yeah. He's right there. And it was Sidney Poitier.
Word on the street is that a documentary about the legendary Sidney Poitier could be the most explosive expose in Tinseltown history. Yes, you heard that right. According to Jaguar Wright, a name synonymous with stirring the pot, there's more to this Hollywood icon than meets the eye.
There used to be a rumor in Black Hollywood in Baldwin Hills that if Sidney Poitier showed up at your party, it's because they were watching you.
Wow.
And he carried that legacy until his 80s.
Sidney Poitier, a revered figure in cinema and a trailblazer for African-American actors, is now being compared to none other than P. Diddy, allegedly the wild, controversial figure of the 1950s and 60s. You must be thinking, what, Sidney Poitier, an animal like Diddy? It seems outrageous, but buckle up because the tea is piping hot.
The things that he did to Eartha Kitt, the lies that he told on RCD and Ruby.
Jaguar Wright has been dropping bombshells left and right, claiming that Sidney Poitier, much like P. Diddy, played a significant role in manipulating and exploiting the entertainment system. She asserts that while Poitier was seen as an icon of progress, behind closed doors, he may have been anything but the paragon of virtue the world believed him to be. But where's the proof? Well, Wright isn't the only one talking. Alleged family members have come forward, backing up these sensational claims. One individual commented, "I'm a Poitier, and the things I've heard about him ain't good. He dissed his whole family. He's my grandfather's cousin, and he left and never looked back on some BS." Another chimed in, "Wow, so we are related. My grandmother said the same thing and always got angry if you mentioned his name." These comments paint a picture of a man estranged from his family, someone who perhaps wasn't the hero the public adored. The revelations don't stop there. One commenter shared that they used to do the hair of one of Sidney's daughters in the 80s and claimed she didn't have good things to say about her father. Another anecdote involves a girlfriend who revealed that Sidney once approached her at a party in a manner far from gentlemanly, reminiscent of the stories we hear about Diddy's notorious party antics. For decades, Sidney Poitier has been celebrated as a symbol of dignity and grace in Hollywood. He was the first African American to win an Academy Award for Best Actor, breaking significant racial barriers.
The winner is Sidney Poitier.
Yet, if these allegations hold any water, it suggests that his public persona was meticulously curated to mask a much darker reality. One can't help but wonder how these revelations, if proven true, will reshape our understanding of Poitier's legacy. Did the man who became a beacon of hope for so many also have a hidden side, marked by controversy and estrangement? As expected, the public reaction has been mixed. Some are in complete disbelief, unable to fathom that the man they've idolized for so long could have such a tainted history. Others are more open to the possibility, suggesting that every great man has his secrets and that it's about time the truth comes to light. One social media user wrote, "I don't know if I can believe this. Sidney Poitier has always been an inspiration. This is just too hard to accept." Another commented, "If this is true, it's going to be a major wake-up call for Hollywood. We need to stop idolizing celebrities without knowing the full story." For context, Sidney Poitier was born on February 20th, 1927, in Miami, Florida, though his roots were deeply tied to the Bahamas. His parents, Evelyn and Reginald James Poitier, were Bahamian farmers who owned a farm on Cat Island, a remote part of the Bahamas. Poitier's birth was a surprise to his parents. They were visiting Miami to sell tomatoes from their farm when he was born prematurely, weighing only 3 pounds. This unexpected arrival in the United States meant that Poitier was automatically granted U.S. citizenship, which later played a crucial role in his career. Growing up, Sidney Poitier spent his early years on Cat Island in the Bahamas. Bahamas. Life on Cat Island was far from glamorous. The Poitier family lived in a rural area without the conveniences of modern life. There was no electricity or running water, and the family survived through subsistence farming. Poitier's childhood was characterized by hard work, but he also enjoyed the simple pleasures of island life, such as swimming in the ocean and exploring the natural surroundings. When Poitier was around 10 years old, his family moved to Nassau, the capital of the Bahamas, in search of better opportunities.
Coming into the harbor of Nassau, I saw what looked to me like beetles running up and down the shore. And I said, "What are those?" to my mom, and she said, "Those are cars."
Nassau was significantly more developed than Cat Island, but life was still challenging. Poitier had minimal formal education and left school at the age of 12 to help support his family. At the age of 14, Poitier's parents became increasingly concerned about his future. They worried that he was becoming a juvenile delinquent due to his mischievous behavior. In a bid to provide him with a better environment and more opportunities, they sent him to live with his older brother Cyril in Miami. But soon, he decided to leave Miami and head to New York City. With only $3 and change in his pocket, Poitier arrived in New York City, determined to make a better life for himself. He took on various menial jobs to survive, including washing dishes, working as a ditch digger, and performing other labor-intensive tasks.
I slept in the toilet at the bus station. Then I switched from there to the rooftop of the Brill building.
Despite the hardships, Poitier remained determined and focused on his goal of becoming an actor. Poitier's aspiration to become an actor was not an easy path. He faced numerous obstacles, including his lack of formal education, inability to read properly, and heavy West Indian accent. When he first auditioned for the American Negro Theater in New York, his performance was a disaster. Frederick O'Neill, a founder of the theater, advised him to give up acting and suggested he get a job as a dishwasher. Poitier took the advice to heart, but did not give up on his dream. While working as a dishwasher, Poitier used a radio to practice speaking English. He listened to various staff announcers and mimicked their pronunciation and intonation. Additionally, a fellow worker at the restaurant where he washed dishes helped him improve his reading skills. Poitier's determination and hard work eventually paid off when he won a place in the American Negro Theater's acting school. However, he had to volunteer as a janitor without pay to secure his spot. Poitier's big break came unexpectedly when another actor, Harry Belafonte, failed to show up for a rehearsal attended by a Broadway producer. Seizing the opportunity, Poitier stepped in and impressed the producer, earning himself a part in the production. This opportunity marked the beginning of Poitier's rise in the entertainment industry. From his early struggles, Poitier's career began to take off. He made his film debut in the 1950 movie No Way Out, playing a doctor who treats a white bigot.
This man has stolen a scalpel. He's got it hidden on him. I want him searched.
His performance garnered critical acclaim and opened doors for more significant roles. Poitier's talent and charisma shone through in each of his performances, and he quickly became known for roles that smartly portrayed racial injustice in America. In 1955, Poitier starred in the film Blackboard Jungle, a gritty drama about a teacher in an inner-city school. His role as Gregory W. Miller, a troubled student, showcased his ability to convey complex emotions and earned him widespread recognition. This film was a turning point in Poitier's career, solidifying his status as a rising star in Hollywood. Poitier's dedication to portraying characters with dignity and depth set him apart from many other actors of his time. He refused to play stereotypical roles that perpetuated negative images of Black Americans. Instead, he sought out roles that challenged societal norms and provided positive representation for Black audiences. This commitment to excellence and integrity earned him respect and admiration from fans and critics alike. In 1958, Poitier received his first Oscar nomination for Best Actor for his role in The Defiant Ones. The film, which told the story of two escaped convicts, one Black and one white, chained together and forced to cooperate, was a critical and commercial success.
No more yazapos.
Poitier's performance was hailed as a breakthrough, and he became the first Black actor to be nominated for a leading role Oscar. 5 years later, in 1963, Poitier made history by winning the Best Actor Oscar for his role in Lilies of the Field. He played Homer Smith, a handyman who helps a group of nuns build a chapel in the Arizona desert. This landmark achievement made Poitier the first Black actor to win the Best Actor award and cemented his place in Hollywood history. Sidney Poitier's impact on the entertainment industry and American culture cannot be overstated. As the first Black actor to achieve major stardom in Hollywood, he broke down barriers and paved the way for future generations of Black actors and actresses. His roles often highlighted racial injustice and provided a voice for the Black community during a time of significant social change. In addition to his groundbreaking work in film, Poitier received numerous accolades and honors throughout his career. In 2002, he was awarded an honorary Oscar at the 74th Academy Awards in recognition of his remarkable contributions to cinema. President Barack Obama also honored Poitier in 2009, presenting him with the Presidential Medal of Freedom for his achievements in film and his role as a civil rights advocate. Poitier's influence extended beyond the entertainment industry. After moving back to the Bahamas later in life, he served as the Bahamian ambassador to Japan from 1997 to 2007 and as the ambassador to UNESCO. His diplomatic work reflected his commitment to global understanding and cultural exchange. In addition to his prestigious awards in the industry, Sidney was also well recognized by top figures in the world. For instance, President Obama bestowed upon him an honor in 2009 for his contribution to American cinema and culture. Queen Elizabeth II gave knighthood to him in 1974, giving him the title Sir Sidney Poitier in the UK. In 1967, Dr. Martin Luther King also paid tribute to him, saying he was a man of great depth, a man of great social concern, a man who was dedicated to human rights and freedom. After moving back to the Bahamas later in life, he was asked to serve as ambassador from 1997 to 2007, and he also served as the ambassador to the UN's UNESCO organization. Again, it's hard to imagine that a man of such stature would be evil, especially if we're talking about Diddy-level evil, but apparently and allegedly he was not a saint. Based on what Jaguar said, this man may have been than Diddy.
The things that he did to Eartha Kitt, the lies that he told on RCD and Ruby.
I may not know a lot about what Jaguar was saying, but what I do know for certain is that Sidney made a complete fool of Diane Carroll back in the day. For those who recall, he was caught up in a steamy affair with Diane Carroll that lasted for much of the 1960s. The pair first laid eyes on each other in 1959, when they were both cast in the movie musical Porgy and Bess. At the time, Poitier was married to his first wife, Juanita Hardy, with whom he had 4 daughters. Carroll, then age 24, was wed to music manager Monty Kaye. Despite their respective marital statuses, the stars were instantly captivated by one another and commenced a torrid affair. The red-hot romance continued even after Carroll gave birth to her only child, Suzanne, in 1960. The brazen couple starred in a second film together titled Paris Blues, which was released in 1961.
I like to walk, and I like the way you walk. And Paris is a city to walk in.
It's a beautiful city.
They were also photographed together at the Academy Awards in 1964 on the night Poitier, who was still married, scored the Best Actor Oscar for his role in Lilies of the Field. In her Bombshell 2008 memoir, The Legs Are the Last to Go, Carroll claimed that in 1963, Sidney promised he would leave his wife for her. He then allegedly convinced her that she too should get a divorce so that they could openly be together. The actress, who went on to star in the groundbreaking sitcom Julia and was the first Black woman to win a Best Actress in a musical Tony for No Strings, even wrote that Poitier gave her a glitzy ring, although she did not say it was a proposal. What happened was that Carroll kept her end of the bargain and split from her husband, preparing herself to move into a 10-room apartment on Riverside Drive that Sidney Poitier had paid for. But she said that Sidney called her to say that he was having second thoughts about their romance and was not going to leave his wife. Carroll also wrote in the book, "Our wedding plans would have to be postponed." When the apartment was ready and she was about to move her daughter in with her, Sidney told her he didn't want her there. He changed the lock so she couldn't get into the Riverside Drive apartment. Then he made her write him a check to offset his purchase and decorating costs. I did as I was told, submissive and desperate. Sidney eventually split from his wife Juanita Hardy in 1965, but the Hollywood heartthrob purportedly told Carroll that he did not want to jump straight into another marriage. When Carroll started dating other men, Sidney's true colors started to show. Carroll wrote in her memoir that Sidney called her at her hotel, hurled all sorts of nasty insults at her, and then yelled, "I know he just left your bed. I won't have you running around with other men. You belong to me." Does that sound familiar? It's kind of like what is happening right now with Diddy. And that's why we have people like Jaguar saying that Sidney was the Diddy of the 50s and 60s. Well, it has also been said that Sidney actually put his hands on Carol. And even though that is not something she mentioned in her memoir, the rumor was around back in the day. If you ask Jaguar, she will tell you that there's no difference between what we are hearing about what Diddy did and what Sidney Poitier also did. Jaguar also noted a few other things and said that what Sidney did to Eartha Kitt is despicable. Eartha Kitt had revealed that prominent black men in the industry like Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte wanted nothing to do with black women, and she received backlash when she married a white man. But she had no choice but to settle due to every black man she wanted refusing her. This is exactly what Jaguar was talking about. Sidney Poitier was in love with Eartha Kitt, and she wasn't even a dark-skinned black woman, but she was a black woman. Do you know what he told her? "What is me being in love with you and walking around Beverly Hills going to do for my career?" Jaguar also said that Sidney told all sorts of lies about Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee. Allegedly, there also used to be a rumor in Black Hollywood and Baldwin Hills that if Sidney Poitier showed up to your party, it was because they were watching you. This is something that Jaguar also talked about. Basically, Jaguar was trying to imply that the things we are seeing about Diddy are what was happening with Sidney. Of course, with Sidney, a lot of things cannot be verified because we didn't have the technology like we do now, and many people from his generation are not even alive to tell the stories. Despite these controversies, Poitier's contributions to the entertainment industry and American culture remain significant. His groundbreaking roles and refusal to play stereotypical characters helped to reshape Hollywood's portrayal of Black Americans, providing positive representation and challenging societal norms. His professional achievements, including being the first Black actor to win an Academy Award for Best Actor, are monumental milestones in the history of cinema. In reflecting on Sidney Poitier's personal life and relationships, it is important to acknowledge both his remarkable contributions to the entertainment industry and the complexities of his character. While his professional achievements are celebrated, the personal controversies surrounding his relationships and behavior towards women serve as a reminder that even the most admired individuals can have flaws and shortcomings. Poitier's legacy is multifaceted, encompassing both his pioneering work in Hollywood and the personal challenges and controversies he faced. His relationships with women like Diane Carroll and Eartha Kitt reveal a more complicated and human side of the iconic actor, providing a fuller picture of the man behind the groundbreaking roles and accolades. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.